think I have finally got my microphone sorted out. I mean, it's taken me 3 episodes, but it's long enough, right? Anyway, we're here with Andrew again. Say hello, Andrew. He's half blocked by my webcam, but I don't care. And we're gonna go back. So last episode, we cleaned with Mom, we got the house ready, and now is our first day of school, and that's just exciting. Not exactly sure what's gonna happen, but still looking forward to it. So let's go. Give it a second. Oh. My stupidity astounds even me sometimes. Okay, guys? Okay. But your second day had only just arrived. Only one corner of the world outside the window had any sunlight. The rest was all shadows. The lights in the house had to be turned on for you to see your own hands. I'm a morning person, but Andy probably is not. You did your best to stay asleep, but lost that battle that morning. At least she didn't start making you do chores. The unpacking wouldn't be started again until a lot later. That's what your ma had said when you were brushing your teeth. For now, you both only had what was already out. The food around to eat was still just the same stuff from yesterday. It was what you had for breakfast already, and you could see that your ma was packing it into a brown bag for lunch too. That was the last of the preparation she had to do for your school. You were pretty sure. Your ma really wanted to be the one to get your supplies for the day together. She'd put stacks of stapled papers, a notebook, your pencil case, a ruler, and more into your backpack. Ma had kept the pack in the middle seat of the car to make sure it would be right there when it was time to use it for class. That's a smart move. I have lost many backpacks because I didn't have them in the car. If it had gone missing, maybe you would have had to carry your stuff in a cardboard box, the same way you had been bringing everything else with you to this place in big boxes. You watched her from your comfy spot in the sleeping bag. You'd already gotten dressed for the day, but that didn't mean you couldn't sit in bed again. There wasn't anywhere else to sit. Soon you'd be leaving the new old house and neighborhood and all the parts of Golden Grove you've gotten to see so far. The next step into the unknown was across North Acres Elementary School. You tried to imagine what it might be like. There comes a knock at the door. Ooh! But school thoughts were shaken out of your head when a muffled thumping sound filled the air. Ma slowly lowered her full hands down to the center, and at the same time her head and eyebrows went up. Guests? Already? At this hour? Your ma left your lunch bag incomplete on the tabletop and went to investigate the knocking. You dashed forward to beat your ma to opening the door. Yeah, that's 10-year-old little boy vibes coming for this answer right here. The speed of your chase made your sleeping bag slide against the wooden floor, but you didn't trip. That's a relief. You were able to pass Ma before she arrived at the start of the entryway. You reached up to get both your hands around the long handle of the front door, pressing it down and giving the stiff board a firm tug. It squeaked open. You glanced ahead, squinting your eyes to adjust from the complete brightness inside to the pale dawn outside. Trying to squint my eyes. I don't know what my VTube avatar is doing right now. Oh, it's just blinking. Okay. Standing tall on the welcome mat, seeming totally at home at your home, was the new friend you had met the day before, Mr. Chu Lin. Oh, hello, Chu. Good to see you again, buddy. Though he didn't say, he was also called Autumn. I'm going to try using the nickname sometimes. No, I'm going to call him by Chu, because Chu is amazing. As somebody who sort of not really speaks Mandarin Chinese, this is amazing. I am calling you Chu. Chu's fluffy hood was tucked snugly around his head. He didn't usually do that, at least based on how much you knew was usual for him. Maybe it was because the air was somehow even more skin-pricklingly cold in the winter than it was during the day or evening. You shuddered just from the wind coming in through the opening. When he caught sight of you there, a plucky grin took over his face. Aw, he's cute. I like Chew. He popped onto the balls of his feet, getting even taller, and cheered a greeting. Good morning. I'm giving Chew too much of a mature voice. I'll figure it out. Seeing who it was, you scooted past your ma to stand by Chew on the porch. That seems reasonable, yes. Chew puffed up, completely pleased that you'd come over to him. You mirrored your move so that he was facing you instead of ma. Okay, none of these seem like an answer that Andy would do, so just hi, I guess. Little boy voice. Hi. Oh, that was horrible. Chew stayed out in the new place he took, but angled his head up and over to give his focus to your ma. I'm Mr. Chew Lin. I'm your neighbor, and I'm the same age as Andrew Peterson. The two of us met yesterday. Ah, yes, I've heard. We've been anticipating meeting you, and those feelings were well placed. You're so polite. Chew straightened out the line of his bandana with both hands, giggling cheekily. I don't trust cheekily giggling. As he made direct eye contact with you. Well, if somebody has been talking about me, I hope it was all the good stuff. Now I should introduce myself as well. I'm Mrs. Peterson, Andrew's mother. It's nice to meet you. May I speak with Miss Andrew, Mrs. Peterson? There's something I wanted to talk to him about. Thoughtfully, your ma's glance drifted down to you. Without looking back at him, your ma replied, That'll be fine. I'll finish getting your bag ready, Andrew. You two can chat. Chew clasped his hands together primly. Thank you very much. You looked back at him eagerly. It was only the morning, and something good was already happening. It's taking a minute to load. What did you want to say? Chew didn't beat around the bush with you. He probably didn't with anyone. He came right out and said what he had in mind. Want to walk to school together? I mean, it is the first day. He squared his shoulders and held out a hand, counting off points with his fingers. We're going to the same place, in the same grade. I mean, there's a good chance we'll even be in the same class. Going together would make everything so easy. Ooh. Yeah! That makes a lot of sense! Alright. He popped an enthusiastic double thumbs up. And guess what else is a reason why we should walk together? What? His gaze got sharper, but he didn't feel scary at all. The glance was like a fancy cut jeweled rather than a pointy weapon. It's an interesting way to describe it. It's because I want you to be there. Oh, he wanted you to hang out with him? So yeah, I think it makes a lot of sense that we'd go together. With his hands in his pockets, Chew shifted the whole top half of his body diagonally over to one side. The tilt of his head really showed off the bend in his self-pleased smile. Oh. He flung his arm out and arched the finger across the air in front of both your faces. It might have been to stop you before you could say anything, or to keep himself from forgetting what else he wanted to talk about. And it wouldn't be just us. I'm gonna keep going down the cul-de-sac to Granny's house, so I can ask Tamarack next. So that's it. What do you think about the three of us walking together? It's a good plan, right? Yeah, I was gonna ask you to go with me myself. You swung your hands behind you and spoke out again. I'll get my backpack and tell my mom we're going. Cool. I'll wait here for you. Yay. You parted with Chew for a second, but didn't bother closing the door. The sound of your feet against the floor was the only noise in the huge house. You couldn't have snuck up on your ma if you tried. Each step took you closer and made the smile on her face grow larger. But she didn't get distracted from her job. Her gaze stayed stuck on the counter. Ma placed one more paper into your backpack and snapped the plastic flap on the top flap closed. What the heck? With that secured, she promptly picked the bag up by the loop handle. She lowered herself down to your height by bending her knees low. Then she offered the backpack over to you. Okay, I know that 10-year-olds are not the tallest, but I have this child on tall settings. So why is Ma still having to bend over? Huh, Ma? Huh? Anyway. Exceptional timing, dear. Here, you're set to go. It was nice and light when you took the pack from her. That wouldn't last. Soon you'd have actual school books to bring around with you. Oh, kid, it doesn't get any easier. It really doesn't. You're gonna go to high school and then college. You have to bring around so many books in college. Oh my gosh. Whatever. Side tangent aside. What happened with our guest? Did he leave? You answer the question while looping one arm after the other into the wide openings of your backpack straps. He's out there still. She wants me to walk to school with him. Can I go? You shifted your grip on the dangly ends of your armbands, then gave them a swift tug to tighten the straps, fully securing the bag against you. He came over to ask you that? Talk about convenient. The young Mr. Lin must know the way far better than I do. You certainly can walk together. Okay. That was exactly what you thought she'd say. You could count on her to understand. As she smiled, her face lit up softly, like the early morning sunshine outside. Ma pinched the top of your chin between her thumb and her pointer finger. Why are you pinching my chin, Mom? That's a grandma move. Ugh. Enjoy your first day. There's only one of them per year. She was right. This was your school year in a brand new town. Anything could happen to you, for all you knew. It was an adventure, and you would be ready for it. Through the open door, you could see Chu waiting patiently on your porch still. He'd turned his back to the house, instead looking around the neighborhood. You came to his side, and that caught his attention. But his gaze didn't go to yours. It went right to the backpack you had on. Chu grinned hopefully. I told Ma. It's okay. He smacked his hands together enthusiastically. All right, then it's time to go. You know, Andy, it's been forever since I've gotten to walk to school with a friend. A teeny tiny yelp popped out of you, partly because what he said, and partly because your knees smacked together when he said it. Why did your knees smack together, Andrew? He said you were friends. Still, what happened to your knees, boy? You thought you were, but it was totally different to have him talk about it just like that. Me too, Chu. This is great. He grinned ear to ear. Chu was full of serenity. Chu easily swiveled all the way around on his heels. He firmly planted his feet onto the floorboards of the porch to close out his move. Then he confidently strode forward and leapt over the little steps to get onto the ground. Chu had places to be, and nothing was going to stand in his way. Eagerly, you went along with him, down the stone path, past the fence, and onto the neighborhood sidewalk. It took less than a minute to go around the bendy curve of your neighborhood that led to the least pointy, least colorful home on the street. Oh no, I like this home. It's bigger than the one Andy's living in. Tamarak's house. Also her Omi and Opa's house. Chu and you wandered right into the uncharted territory of their porch. You reached forward to knock. After a few good thumps, you let your fist fall back down. Chu brought his arms to his side, shook his head to readjust the way his hair fell around his shoulders, and positioned himself squarely in the center of the entryway. The old door began to jiggle in its frame, like it was shivering cold from being outside this early, too. But someone was fiddling with the doorknob on the other side. And then the door swung open, with a clattering yank, and a gust of flowery perfume. The air came out from the deep inside of the house. Oh, no, not Grandma perfume, please, no, not Grandma. Still clasping the handle and leaning her head against the wood, Tamarak was there to greet you. Oh, good, okay, I thought we were gonna, have to meet her grandma and then have to deal with, the grandma perfume. Tamarak's good too, though. I mean, we love Tamarak here. She had her bag and scarf on for the day already.
Hello.
Good morning, Tamarack. Her eyes popped open. She hadn't looked to see who was at her door before, saying hello, but she could tell who it was from that answer. Tamarack's tone of voice lightened even more.
Chew and Andy? You're both here? Hi.
Oh my gosh. Oh, these are all very good answers, but yeah, let's just go. Good morning, Tamarack. Chew kept his very proper. I can't pronounce proper. Chew kept his very proper pose and offered Tamarack the same invitation he'd given you. I'm glad we didn't miss you. We're all going to be going to the same school, right? It'd be cool if we walked as a group. Want you? Please? I don't want to do it all by yourself. She blinked rapidly, many times all in a row. In the soft pink light, her eyelashes almost looked like shimmering dragonfly wings. Why are you giving me this imagery? This is a child.
Wow. Okay. I'm gonna come.
She twisted almost the whole way around, turning her back to you. You could just barely glimpse into the dark hall behind her. Tamarack then leaned over, bending her knees and powerfully shouted into the depths of the gray house. Oh gosh.
I'm going to school now.
Thank you, Tamarack. You are adorable. Her loud, high-pitched call echoed through the hallway. Is that her Omi or Opa? I'm just gonna assume it's Omi. Have a good day, young lady. Okay. Tamarack hopped forward. It was small, but that was all it took to go from being in her house to being outside in the world. She tucked the doorknob with her to shut the slammed door. Wait. To slam the door shut. Okay. Reading comprehension is not my friend, I will tell you that.
I'm ready.
The quickness of all that was too much, and Chew needed a second to catch up with it. But when he did, he chuckled. Perfect. Chew lazily settled his hands on his hips, and his eyes moved way off to the side, even though there was nothing special to see that way. Guess we've actually got to go to class.
Yeah.
She is such an adorable. I love this child. She pumped her fists up and down in the air in a pattern that matched the pace of her yas. Yeah, let's go cheer with Tamarack. Yeah! You cheered along with Tamarack.
Yay.
It was a cheering loop between you and her. All clustered together, you, Chew, and Tamarack tramped off to the white wooden porch. The full set of cul-de-sac kids hit the road again. The trip was almost the opposite of last time. The sun was coming up instead of it going down, and you were leaving the neighborhood instead of going back into it. But that wasn't what really stood out to you. It was a little bit amazing to you that you already could compare it to a last time. And you could guess that this journey with them wasn't going to be the actual last time it ever happened. It had just become the last time it had happened before the new next time. The first part of the school trip wasn't hard. There was only one way out of your neighborhood unless somebody hiked out into whatever the woods went. That would be cool. Maybe you'd be able to do that someday. Your actual path forward and your brush past the forest fork that originally led you to meeting Chew and Tamarack. But you weren't stuck with the same limits as before. This morning you moved right on by without even stopping to check that there might be hidden away back there. Now you traveled even further. The woods crowded in closer and closer around the one road that led out, until suddenly structures began to appear in between the bushes. The thick overhang of leaves pulled apart to show the sky. The world unfolded ahead of you. Sunshine climbed mountains to just barely tickle your cheeks while the stars still clustered against your back. You were right in the center of a windy mountain path. It flowed over the uneven ground, blanketing every small bump and bend like a black river. Can I just say, these backgrounds are amazing. Like, I love all of them. Along the street, huge wooden poles rose in the sky in a row that revealed all the trees. Stretching phone lines and reaching branches wove the whole town together. Even the Golden Grove was a lived-in place with man-made things. The vast wilderness was just as much a neighborhood to the residents as the real people neighborhoods. Tamarack tramped over the grass, swooshing her arms in full-length swings in front of her. She didn't get anywhere near the tarmac, sorry. Chew's stride was a lot breezier. He took the spot in the line closest to the road, and didn't even check for cars. His eyes were aimed at the now visible sky. You ended up somewhere in between them. If Tamarack was a swoosh and Chew was a breeze, then you were a whirlwind. Okay. You rushed around, twisting the angle of your head and taking in every new thing that surrounded you. Chew! All the air that went out through the window when Chew started moving his hands around even more than Tamarack. He frantically stuck his fingers in and out of each one of his pockets while poking his tongue out at the corner of his mouth. You and Tamarack just watched as he tugged at his jacket and pants while walking. The two of you probably shared the exact same thought. He was looking for his notebook, or paper, or something. Aha! And it was paper, but it didn't have his special tan pages. The thing Chew grabbed was a thick, folded packet of white printer paper that was covered all over in tiny inked words. You could instantly tell what it was. That many papers stapled together and with this little words on them only ever came from one place: school. Boo. Chew held it close to his face. He had his nose completely in what was basically a book, but for some reason he started to talk to you and Tamarack. Which room did you two get? For a second, Chew peeked over the pages to look at the both of you. Who's your teacher? Tamarack thought hard, and she didn't find an answer in her head. She squished her hands under the flap of her bag without unbuckling it. She had to find her own papers. I remember. My mom told me. It's 24, the room, and my teacher's name is Mrs. Murray? Chew used his thumbs to bed the papers down. They stopped hiding his face, and you could see that a smile was forming on his face. Wait, that's my room too. Tamarack waved her packet in the air in a crinkly flurry. Oh my gosh. Me 3! Oh my gosh, we're in the same class. Yes, I was sad that we were gonna have to choose class between the two of them. I don't know why. That would have been horrific though. No. We're all in the same class, you cheered. Your mom had given you the papers. Chew probably got him from his mom and dad, and Tamarack got him from her Omi and Opa. Despite being kind of different, the papers were all the same. A smirk settled in its regular spot on Chew's face, all according to plan if he somehow could have planned it. We're roommates. Not in that way, but okay. He didn't need the packet for anything else, so he stuffed it into his pant pocket with a shrug of one shoulder. There's only 3 5th-grade classes we could have been in. When Chew made sure it was deep enough not to fall out, he brought both his arms into an even bigger shrug and chuckled too. But Mrs. Murray? I almost made it without her being my teacher. It was close, though. What does that mean? Oh my gosh, wait. Tamarack peered into the face with wide eyes, leaning over so much that you could almost walk into her. She didn't have to say what her question was with words. Chew got it. Don't worry, she's nice. She's the best teacher for you two. Chew made a very serious and reassuring okay sign with his fingers, but in an instant he snapped into a pointing gesture. And you're probably going to be shocked, but Mrs. Murray isn't just a teacher. She's a mom. She has kids that are just her kids, not students. I mean, to be fair, my mom is a teacher, and I'm going to be a teacher. So, teachers can have children too, Chew.
Wow.
Apparently Tamarack didn't know that. Why would that be weird? Yeah, okay, why would that be weird?
How does a teacher have kids, Andy?
I mean, adoption, foster, there's just a lot of options. I mean, really. The same way all adults do. But now I know that what we're really going, I can bring us right to the door. The extra burst of confidence got Chew to take a few long strides ahead of you and Tamarack, keeping his chin high. Tamarack bounced across the grass, kicking her knees high to catch up. She didn't let him keep the lead he took. Don't you dare get ahead of my poor sweet Tamarack, Chew. I mean, if that's how it was, you weren't going to let yourself be last. You burst forward to get back in the middle of the row. You were greeted with grins from the both of them. Your steps came back into a steady rhythm between the three of you. Ooh, this is a good question. Tamarack, does your Omi or Oppa know anything about my house from before I moved there? I'm actually curious about the house, so. Tamarack chuckled eagerly, gaining an extra skip in her step.
They talk about that when we have coffee together. They said that there was one person who lived there, way before you came, but they left the house and said nobody had it. You surprised them. Omi and Oppa thought nobody was ever gonna move in again.
Huh? With one eyebrow raised, Chew tapped his finger against one cheek. I'm not sure if I met that person. It would have been when I was really little, and I just don't remember. Okay. She slowed down again. It wasn't as fun as when she didn't know the answers.
Maybe.
Oh, that was interesting. You'd learned something new. Sort of. The longer the walk went on, the more Tamarack's gaze was pulled to the forest edge along the road instead of what was right in front of her. Her steps drifted unevenly. Oh no, are you sad? Did I make you sad? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make you sad, Tamarack. Please forgive me. You couldn't blame her. You had done the same during the road trip a few times. Okay, good. She's not sad. She's just bored, I guess. But you weren't the only one who noticed her focus. Hey, so it's kind of funny how both of you like the woods that much.
It's the only nice place I've seen here so far.
She said it in the plainest way possible, and the words still made Chew gasp hard enough to cough. Have you been other places than the forest?
Yeah, lots. We're not good.
I can't believe it. You shouldn't try to make Tamarack change her mind of what she likes, Chew. Yeah. Why? What is that face? She's like, I guess. What? There's no I guess. Don't try to get Tamarack to like something she doesn't like. Chew took off the shock. What? Okay, I'm sorry. There was maybe or maybe not a fire drill at my dorm, and that was awkward because my roommate started freaking out. But you know what? It's okay now. Let's just go back to this. Chew shook off the shock Tamarack's statement hit him with. He turned his cheek to the front as he rolled his shoulders. He was winding up for a comeback. Ooh, Chew's angry. I guess I can give you one thing. There is a pretty special kind of fun in all my years living here. You can only ever out in these very woods. Nowhere else.
Really? What is it?
He cast a reel and Tamarack was hooked on it. No, baby. He's gonna dupe you, don't. She instantly became invested in whatever mystery Chew had up his line. I'm not gonna tell you.
What?
Tamarack shrieked in a tone so high it scared away a bird who was minding his own business in the tree above. It was a hook, line and sinker. Oh no. The beat of its wings fluttered through the air. that matched Chiu's giggle. He brought a hand to his chin and leveled a mischievous glance at Tamarack. Don't make fun of her! Stop being rude, Chiu! Oh my gosh! One day you'll understand. Probably. Chiu! My gosh! I am raging over here. Stop. Stop being so mean! And that was it. He closed up his lips, folded his arms, and settled into a not explaining for the rest of the walk. Chiu! My gosh! Tamarack couldn't accept that, or couldn't get the hint. She pestered him with passion in her words, getting stronger every time she repeated them. Oh no! Look at her face! He is like... Oh no, you are taunting her at this point.
Tell me the thing! The special thing! Chiu! Tell me the special thing!
Oh my gosh. It was not funny. No. Yeah, that's not fair, Chiu. That's not fair, Chiu. He didn't care. The conversation of Yor and Tamarack attempts to squeeze Chiu for information, and the snickers that escaped from Chiu continued while you headed towards your goal. Down the road some more, over a crosswalk, past the main street, taking a turn at the corner. That was when the wildest building you'd ever seen so far came into view. There had been taller ones, because that had been the only one with 2 floors, but there was a lot of those floors. North Acres Elementary School. The name made sense. You wondered exactly how many acres it was. Dozens of other kids were pouring out from a few different paths and mixing together under the front arches above the giant door. You tried to stand up straight, wanting to do things right. Then, when you went through the door, sticking even closer by your group than on the walk there, inside was a long hall with different doors and staircases on the side. It was shiny and dull, like it had been cleaned so hard for so long it made everything even more worn down than usual. Okay, I'm just looking at this place and it looks awesome. If I went to elementary school here, maybe I wouldn't have had so many bad memories of it. Like, look at this place. Poster boards with a bunch of paper sheets tacked on lined the walls. Nobody was even looking at them. The messages they had might never have ever been read. The floors had a checked tile pattern. Some of the kids around made sure to only walk on one of the colors and avoid the other. Children. That is a legitimate child thing, so yes. And it was loud. There was too much sound from the crowds for the hall to hold. It echoed around, which made it even louder. Ooh. That's rough, Andy, I'm sorry, but better than you than me. This is your school now. Yeah, okay. Chiu tapped your shoulder and pointed out with his other hand. You figured that was his way to say that you had to keep going without having to yell, so you could hear. The 3 of you pressed past the other students, making sure you didn't get separated. Step by step, you climbed forward and upwards. Chiu waved a hand through the crowd to the right door when you reached the top. You'd arrived the first day of your class right on time. And I think we might stop it here. It's not that. Because I think we're done. Guys. As much as I want to do more, this episode is already over 30 minutes long. So, yeah. Come back again, watch the rest of the playlist if you're interested in this, and hopefully the audio problems are sorted out in this video. But I mean, I don't know. So come back again and join us for another episode of Our Life, Now and Forever. See you then.